uh, a friend in focus. And we're going to focus specifically on the power of one, but the reality of your focus or your attention on one person at one time. Harriet Tubman is reported to have said, "You have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars, to change the world." And there is tremendous energy in the power of one when we're able to focus that power to make a difference in one person at one time, at one moment. And that's when amazing things happen. I'm going to take a step back and go to the US Army, of all places. There's a US Army, their field manual number 66-22. This is an actual thing that the US Army uses as part of their leadership development curriculum. According to the US Army field manual number 6-22, leadership is the process of influencing people by providing purpose, direction, and motivation while operating to accomplish the mission and improve the organization. The last phase of this definition, improve the organization, is critical and somewhat unique to the way the US Army approaches leadership. Simply put, it's not enough just to influence followers to accomplish a mission. True leadership must include improving the organization, and most often, one person at a time. In the specific example of the US Army, one soldier at a time. This focus on individual development and the pursuit of our organizational improvement starts on day one of basic training and continues throughout their military careers and beyond. A lot of times, people that have experience, that are veterans, they bring this type of discipline and consistency to anything post their engagement in the military. In a perfect world, leaders would individually coach all their direct reports, but that isn't always the case. The collaboration between the individual quote unquote leader or coach and the individual report or student is where the transference happens. And this is where we actually start seeing the seeds of excellence are being created. And that is what creates this organizational improvement. Now, switching to a different perspective completely, Mother Teresa said, "Never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time and always start with the person nearest you." Mother Teresa tirelessly modeled the caring, selfless dedication to the poor that she hoped others would emulate. In an interview after her passing, sisters in her convent were asked if Mother Teresa had set any big, audacious goals, like eliminating poverty. The surprising answer was, "Oh no, Mother Teresa was completely focused on helping one person at a time." In fact, a direct quote from Mother Teresa states, "Never worry about numbers. Help one person at a time and always start with the person nearest you." Nearest you. We're going to come back to that in a second. When we bring this back to New Earth as the New Earth organization, we're going to keep in mind when we talk about this, when we look at your New Earth organization. One of Mother Teresa's greatest strengths was her relentless focus on the core mission of her organization, helping the poorest of the poor. She spent much of her own time helping individuals in extreme need. Her personal example still serves as a model for missionaries of charities all across the world. Does this mean we ought to not make big plans for a team or large organization? Of course not. But it does underline the fact that when we fail one customer, one associate, one friend, one person at a time. There's a deep wisdom. The philosophy is again rooted in the simple truth that you focus at one thing, one person, one thought at a time. Now, going back to New Earth as a New Earth foundation, we talked a little bit about New Earth and the pillars of New Earth and live, give, and grow. And you can see, as from these two examples that we talked, albeit very different from, in theory, in war and peace, from the military to charity with Mother Teresa. The thing that's unique and the thing that stands out that makes the difference is actually the same. It is the focus on the individual, being of assistance, creating value, helping, teaching, training, guiding, one person at a time. Some might ask, what does this have to do with my New Earth business? I think everything, absolutely everything. At New Earth, we believe in doing business differently. We would argue that doing it right. We spent a lot of time on this just in the last session, where we talked about doing well while doing good. We can see it in our pillars of live, give, and grow, and the foundation of how we build. Each of these pillars is personal. We talked about this where we spoke about the development of these pillars were rooted in the four basic human needs that were identified as identified by Stephen Covey: to live, to love, to learn, and to leave a legacy. I hope you're starting to see the connection of how and why we at New Earth are building our organization that's really a platform for growth and a platform for legacy, and that's sustainable and scalable. Those are two words that I think you can always rely on: sustainability and scalability. So live in the pillar are products that make real impact on our health and our wellness personally, so much so that we can share our testimony of its effectiveness with one another, so much so that we exemplify what these products actually mean for us in our own lifetimes. And it's not just the product, but it's what the product philosophy entails and the absolute idea of being well and being healthy. Give is our central core pillar. It's our heart. It's reaching out and being a light through service and compassion, creating a mutual benefit of good for the giver and the receiver. And grow is where sharing and teaching and transcending with our platform for personal and professional development that can augment a personal income and their future, and also learn skills for entrepreneurship, the wellness entrepreneurship model that we spoke about. This in turn provides a greater feeling of independence and freedom. Think about this for a moment, about these feelings, about health and wellness, compassion and kindness, income and independence. All of these are individually experienced first, then shared outwardly. All of them are at risk when we focus only on the inward. Truly, the path to success is found in losing yourself in the success of others. In essence, doing well while doing good. We spent a good part of the morning on this idea, and I invite you to go back and see how this can apply within the context of New Earth. Now let's break it down a little bit more and see how we can make a difference with New Earth as a platform. An extremely practical answer is this: deeply focus on your frontline friends and partners, one person at a time. Focus on the partner that is receptive at that moment. How do we achieve our big audacious goals? By breaking it down into one action step at a time. In the same way, how can we achieve transcendence and an ability of continuing to do good? Is doing things and focusing in one person at a time. There's a quote of Mother Teresa that we talked about: never worry about the numbers, help one person at a time, and always start with the person nearest you. In a very real, personal wellness, health, and even in our business entrepreneurial way, these are the people that are nearest you. These are your closest partners. How are they? How are they feeling? Are they having the experiences that they want to have? Are they being prosperous? What does prosperity mean for them? If we start with the pillars of New Earth and we look at their human needs as defined by Stephen Covey that we have focused on, are they in a good state? Are these needs being met? Are they living their best healthy lives? Are they in a good secure environment? Are they loved but surrounded by love and community? Are they learning and growing and trying things that are a little different and challenging themselves? And are they leaving a legacy for themselves? Are they making this world? Are they adding value to the people and the environment around them? Are their pillars of New Earth intact, or do they need help? After this assessment, here comes the hard question: what are you going to do about this? This is the personal challenge. These folks are not only part of your organization from a business standpoint, they're not only partners in business, but if we truly take this platform of New Earth as an ability or a vehicle to make a change in this world, a positive impact and a difference that's meaningful and that's potentially leaving a legacy, then they are more importantly part of your community and your family. That's a beautiful part of this industry. We've talked many times that the medium of exchange in network marketing or entrepreneurial activities is trust and reputation. Yeah, we're exchanging ourselves and giving ourselves to people that are willing to receive it. And sometimes not everyone does, and that's okay, because we're handing the medium of exchange is trust and reputation. If for whatever reason we don't treat that with honor and integrity and the highest level of excellence, that's where you get a big fallout, and that's where the reputation can be affected. And that's why sometimes our industry gets a bad rap. Ask yourself, are these people, are they just a cog in my machine, or are they happy, independent business owners? The answers will, of course, vary, but the question is important. Even more important is the next question. Why are they that way? Are they trained? Are they ready? Have you taken the time to show them the ropes? If their ability and capacity were increased, if their competency was increased, if their understanding of the behaviors and the cause and effect of behaviors and actions were increased, where are their goals defined, are their purpose manifested, if they had someone to believe in them, to give them hope, to give them motivation and inspiration, just maybe they would surprise you with what they're capable of. There is an important caveat. Any form of communication, any form of interaction, any form of engagement is always a two-way street. Just as we're in the mindset of sharing ourselves to our business partners, our partners must also be ready and willing to engage with us. This focus on the individual is important, that we're always learning and teaching. Just as we focus on our business partner success, one partner at a time, we allow ourselves to be focused on learning from our partners that have more experience. As you can see, there's a chain reaction that happens. We're always at a specific individual moment, it's one-on-one, but there's always one-on-one with someone else behind us, and there's one-on-one with someone else in front of us, and the person that's we're giving them attention to is giving attention to someone else. So there's this constant change, as Kevin likes to put it, this virtuous cycle, the cycle of caring, but it all starts with one person at one time, one focus, one moment. So the reality is we take all this, the global 50,000 foot view, and bring it down into that one individual experience and the one individual connection and the one individual training and the one individual investment in each other to be able to propel each other to the best versions of ourselves. Again, if both parties are willing and choose to do so. If someone doesn't want to engage in that level, that's okay. And that's totally fine. You have to respect where people are and let them be where they're at, and always be available for them. And whenever they're ready, you are ready for them. But the timing is different. As Kevin said earlier, be one, find one, repeat. And this is an important element, is we emulate the actions that we want to be. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change in the world that you want to see. It starts from within you and then transcends out of you. Don't hold back, and don't keep it all for yourself. Everything that we can do of any source of good that we are, to be the ability to be a shining light, has to be extended. In a dark room, when you flip on a switch or when a candle comes in, it lightens and brightens the entire room. Just like that, you have that ability to be transcendent and to enlighten the room. I know what some of you may be thinking at this time. Some of these folks in my organization are not doing anything, and I need to reach down into my organization to those that will work. Maybe it's up to you to honestly assess your efforts and assess your team. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Everybody is in a unique circumstance. Everybody has a unique set of experiences. Everybody has a unique set of individual needs and desires. It's up to you as a potential leader to understand that people are where they're at, and to understand that people are in their specific moment in time, and to give them the space and guide them, if they choose to be guided, into being able to continue to grow in the manner that they have the potential for. However, most of the time, the answer is not necessarily to find someone deeper to work with, but to find another person you can work closely with in your organization. As we talked about, people have to choose to engage. If you have a partner, for whatever reason, that their timing is not aligned with yours, that is okay. Keep them happy, respect their decision, respect them and their wishes, but find somebody that's ready. There are many people that are available, and the timing right now is opportune. There are many, many, many individuals that are looking for the attention and the engagement to be empowered to make a difference in their own lives and the lives around them. And if we acted with good intentions, the reality will manifest ourselves. Why? It is the nature of our business. We teach to reach. That is when we bring in a partner and teach them, train them, expand them, and grow them with a focus and intensity that lets them know that you are engaged in their success. You sincerely have a desire to see their success. That is why someone brought us in and gave us that attention and dedication. Think about yourself and why you are here in this moment, in this time, on September 18th, 2020, at wherever you are in whichever part of the country or the world you are, why you are spending your time listening to me speak on the New Earth University virtually. That's because someone brought you in, gave you some attention, gave you some dedication, showed you that you are important and you have an ability to make a difference in this world. And they do the same. You keep an eye on them, they keep an eye on you, someone else keeps an eye on you. It's a virtuous cycle that we talked about. Without this principle functioning correctly, your ability to influence, to teach, to train goes right back to the beginning of our conversation. Think about it. Even the army does it this way. The example of a family might help. Kevin likes to use the analogy of family all the time, and I completely agree. Family is a great example for so many good things in our life. Who is best prepared, most available, most expected to develop the habits and traits of their children? The parents, the grandparents, or great-grandparents? It's not that the great-grandparents do not have the wisdom or knowledge or the ability to truly help a child develop. And in some cases, some circumstances become where the grandparents actually act like the parents. But in general, it is not their day-to-day duty or the day-to-day endeavor to focus on the daily habits and traits of a child. What are the parents' influences? The parents are the ones that are teaching the kids to get up in the morning and brush their teeth when they get up in the morning. The grandparents will reinforce and support what the parents are teaching, but the grandparents talk more about visions and ideals and thoughts and big picture items to be a mentor. But the daily tactical advantage that we talked about a lot of times, that falls into the role of the parent. So you have to understand that you have an ability to, at one time, to be a parent to the person that's individual to you at once, and then also to be a grandparent or great grandparent to those people that they are focused on. And that constant cycle of virtuous connection, virtuous cycle. As you can see, we're really truly interconnected. And this example keeps on showing that we're constantly connected. Without this principle, your efforts will eventually have decreasing returns as direct result of your spreading out your focus and influence too far to manage. Your own individual efforts will place a maximum limit on your business development. One of the things that I remember growing up, and this has been repeated by many people, my parents, my teachers, my educators, my mentors, is every single person only has 24 hours a day. Granted, this is on Earth. At some point, if Elon Musk does what he's doing and we colonize Mars, there might be a different hours in a day there. But for now, everybody has 24 hours a day. So we all start with the same slate. And we have to make that decision on how we're going to engage those hours for ourselves to be well, do well, for others to do good, to be of service, and also there's all these demands on our time. So the idea is we all have the same amount of time, and as long as two people are engaged and are willing, this constant focus on attention that you as the leader can give to one person at one time in your organization that's close and that's manageable, that will really make a difference. Now, 100% return every day is highly unlikely, but the principle of compounding holds true even for smaller returns. And because that kind of duplication is unrealistic, let's look at just the specific duplication of if we were to do one person per month, just one. The formula on the screen actually needs to be changed a little bit, but it's F over the function of time equals 1, which is the value, which in this place would be doubling. The doubling factor would be 2, and then the time of T would be the number of months that have gone in. So if we just did the same type of example of focusing on one person at one time in 1 month, of bringing in one new person in 1 month every time and teaching them to duplicate, and that compounding effect that is available, we will hold that in 30 days, if we did it every day for 30, if we used a daily month, it would be in 30 days would be 64 people. But if we did one person every time per month, we can see that in a matter of 30 months, you could have in a matter of one person, if everybody come in one time, one person came in every day for 30 days, that can lead to 64 people. Kevin talked a little bit about the 2x2 structure when we took out this example and did it on a monthly basis. In essence, we know that this perfect scenario doesn't work, but if we aim for it, even if we have 20% result or 25% of the result, it would have a profound impact. Now, going back to the focus, do we focus on all 64? No, you focus on the first person that you brought in at that one time. And you focus on the next person that you brought in the next month and the next month and the next month. And you would still maintain some level of engagement with the people that you brought in. So in this example, if you built this, you would have 6 people in 6 months that would have 64 people in their organization. That is both manageable and enjoyable. You're making a difference by focusing in the lives of 6 people, and by extension of the personal principles and the duplication and teaching and growing, you're making an impact in the lives of 10 times that amount. It's a vision that is honestly possible by focusing on the power of one person at one time. Advocating, teaching, and enabling their success will be the difference. And being receptive to their teaching you is just as important. Now let's take an example. Let's take a story of one person's focus that can really change and impact the world. Sarah Bush Johnston was one of 9 children. She grew up in the home of Christopher Bush, who was a slave patrol captain and was somewhat well off financially. As such, she learned to read and write, somewhat, according to their times. She married Daniel Johnston and had 3 children. The Johnstons struggled financially throughout their marriage, having little or no taxable property, and in debts that Daniel's brother sometimes settled. In 1814, Daniel obtained a position of county jailer, which included living quarters for the family within the jailhouse. Sarah became the cook and the cleaner for the jail. In addition, the couple performed cleaning services for the courthouse. In 1816, Daniel died of chlorella. She remarried a man named Thomas, a widower himself, who also had 2 children of his own. Her living circumstances became even more meager, and she came to discover that Thomas was stern and often disagreeable. Undeterred, she was always amicable and kind, taking Thomas's children as her own and advocating for them in their frequent disagreements with their father. She instilled with them a sense of wit, hard work, and pride. One stepson in particular. She was described by a peer at that time. She proved to be a good and kind mother to him. By all reports, the relationship between the stepson and her was excellent. And she considered her stepson a model child who was always honest, witty, and diligent for knowledge. He never needed a crossword. Now, that attention and that focus that she gave, that opportunity she gave that one person, do you have an idea who that person is and what that person was able to do beyond? Sarah Bush Johnston was in fact Sarah Bush Johnston Lincoln. She was the mother of Abraham Lincoln. As she said, she recognized a boy of tremendous talent and saw the diamond when everyone else saw this gangly, awkward-looking boy that was rough. That's what mothers do. You just don't know what is hiding inside of someone. This company, unlike any other, is asking and hoping that you take the time to spend the energy on focusing on one individual at a time and focus your attention on helping them, nurturing them, advocating for them, and having that compounded effect so that we are making a difference in the world. We select those that we will work side by side, and with our endeavors, we will stop and take a look and offer the love and support that most people are craving. It is my belief that this will be the difference. We all can make a difference one person at a time. I encourage you to take the knowledge that you have learned from not only from these last 2 days, but take the knowledge that you have learned in all your experiences in life, in all your experiences with our product from the context of New Earth as a platform, the connections that you have developed throughout your life, throughout your experience with New Earth, throughout all the different events and meetings that you have, the conviction that you have gained that you are in a place that is powerful and meaningful and wants to make a difference and leave a legacy. Renew your intention and start on this journey of making a difference within yourself and beyond, one person at a time, to realize the profound impact on the power of one and how that can make a difference in people's lives and leave a legacy. Think about that as your mark. Think about that in your next endeavor, in your next connection, as you're educating. And in essence, also everything that you talked about as you're focusing outward, be the person that you want. Do unto others as you'd want to do unto yourself. Let yourself be receptive to be the coaching and the teaching and the advocation of somebody else who allows you to be the best version of yourself. So continue to be part of this vicious, virtuous cycle and this connection of interconnectivity that we all together will have a profound compounded effect in making a difference in people's lives. And realizing this takes place one person, one moment, one attempt at a time, one thought at a time. And that's when we realize the power of one.